on that one.
Came back the next day.
That was that was one of the best Davis Cup matches I think we've ever gotten to cover. And I honestly think that Boris Becker is helped much more by, that was a fast indoor carpet court. And that is a kind of a court surface that brings out the most aggressive play from Becker. I honestly think, and when he's tried to play Becker lately, he tries to win from the baseline. It's been crazy. And
trying to defend his crown, he of course was unable to do it, but he got to the quarterfinals astonishingly with just one warm-up match, which was a loss to Carl Stube in Halle, which was another grass court tournament. He lost to Pete Sampras there in an interesting 5-set match. And he lost at the US Open to Sweden's Thomas Enquist, and then took a break and had surgery. Dr. Richard Scheinberg, the man who operated on Jimmy Connors, did that work for him and says that school is still out on whether it was a great success. Of course, for now, he seems to be in terrific shape. We'll find out.
Well, there's a lot of folks here that have box seats here that are not here because it's a working week, but the cheap seats, the public seats, those temporary seats are absolutely packed for this match. I mentioned 7,500 permanent, and then another 6,500 seats are added to the top story here because they were not allowed to build it any higher. That's the folks up there in the temporary seats.
15 low. Crisp forehand approach shot. Got back to the overhead and put it away. Becker not sure about the call. It's your blood going, this, doesn't it? Because the crowd are into it already.
Yeah, well, Paolo Pereira's in the chair, and he was the one that had all those problems yesterday with the Simmerink Lendl match.
Ivan Lendl ended up losing that match, and he didn't shake this man's hand at the end of the match. He was pretty surly in the press conference.
As he's gone back to New York, he has had back problems the last few weeks, and he had to withdraw from Philadelphia, if you remember that, and he's gone back to New York to see a couple of specialists, see if they can help him out a little, ease the pain.
He's had back problems, and we're talking about Lendl for quite a while, hasn't he?
4 quick points.
Wins the first game, 1 game to love, best of 3 sets. They'll take a break, so will we. Lee kind of upset Courier, and is what eventually led Courier to leave Terry.
And then at one stage, of course, he was going to go on tour with Monica Seles at one stage, so he's had a few of them.
15 all.
That's only won 1 point so far, and that was the last service. One before that, Agassi has ripped 2 terrific returns, and that's the secret to this match, in my opinion. This is a good first serve. Steps in, gets it early. Look where Becker had to half volley that. He was only about 3 steps in after his serve. A blistering return.
And Agassi has got 2 break points on Becker's first serve game. The sun behind Becker, so that is not a problem. Pancho Segura was with Agassi for about 5 or 6 weeks in the summer of last year. Remember, he started with him at the Canadian Open. It was an experimental thing, and that didn't last.
Well, Segura wanted him to sort of go back into his shell and rally before he really went for shots. That's just not his style.
Missed it, still has a breakpoint chance. Boris Becker played Nicholas Kulti after a bye in the first round, and though his serve got better as the match went on, in that pretty long 3-setter, he was broken 3 times, and he had 6 double faults. And he was much less than effective on second serve. So, I mean, all of which points to Andre Agassi winning this match, in my opinion.
Except that Agassi himself struggled in his first match
really
against Mark Petchey of England. Lost the second set, and in fact they were at 3 all and 4 all until finally he got the break in the 3rd set and ended up winning it. But for a moment there, it was a very close call.
This is a very big game, I think, for Becker. I feel that Becker has a mindset against Agassi, one that after losing 6 in a row, it sort of bothers him, and he's just not confident playing Agassi. And if he'd have lost this opening service game from 15-40 down, I think you'd have seen a little bit of a slump. If he wins this, then he may keep going.
Deuce. Well, Terry told me that Becker's in great shape, and it's clear that Andre Agassi is as well. Watch this again.
There's the first forehand volley, a little bit of a push on that volley, not a solid volley, but then he does cover the net well. That's his best spot. He and Stefan Edberg, they blanket the net as well as anybody. Got to put Pete Sampras in with that group also. Good kick serve, open court, forehand volley winner. Becker breathes a sigh of relief.
That was a big hold.
Yeah.
1 game all, first set.
I think that it really will be a very big confidence battle between Boris Becker's serve and Andre Agassi's return game.
Frankly, I think they're both battling the confidence factor. Just in general. Agassi, of course, the #1 player in the world there for a short while after winning the Australian Open a few years back. Agassi won Wimbledon. His only Grand Slam win, ever played the final at the US Open and the French Open final a couple of times.
In my opinion, this is playing right into Andre Agassi's hands. Agassi stays there until he gets the right shot. He's confident enough to rip this one down the line, right into the corner.
He had to create the right shot because he was pulled off the court.
He was pulled off the court, but he goes for the big winner, gets it way out in front and threads the needle down the line.
Didn't come in behind much. Agassi knew that right away, jumped all over that shot.
Two completely different backhands, weren't they? That last one was one where he was very much in control because, as you said, Mary, the approach shot was short. The one before that, though, he had a backhand screaming winner down the line from a very poor position.
Becker still hasn't won a point on Agassi's serve.
Well, a weak attempt there at a return of serve, and Agassi leads this 2-1. We're in the first set, best of 3. It's 2-1. Becker serving, love 15.
Gets himself in early serving trouble again.
In Agassi's opening match against Mark Petchey, he was a little rusty where he felt that he played about 60% capacity. Petchey, a good match, but Petchey pestered him, didn't he? He just chipped and charged and flicked backhands and went to the net on every opportunity. Becker's trying to play this from the baseline so far.
Becker had, against his serve, and the last time he served, 2 break points. Agassi has 3 more starting now.
And that last point, a big first serve from Boris Becker, out wide to the forehand, and he stayed back.
There it is.
Three games to 1 Agassi.
You know, I think it's a frustrating thing for Boris Becker. He's not the quickest man in tennis. And Agassi does a very good job of making him seem awkward at the net. He doesn't always come in behind his serve because he really respects the Agassi return of serve. It was a very nice lob from Andre. Not enough of a smash there from Becker. And again, Agassi's passing shots, he can lob so well, he can pass so cleanly. I think that's a big part of the reason why Becker is reluctant to come to the net as much as we think he should.
Well, yeah, I think he started out wanting to come to the net. You remember the early stages of his first serve game there, he did come in, and Agassi boomed a couple right at his feet, and that'll get your attention in a hurry. So I think those first few points were important. 9 straight points for Agassi.
That doesn't mean that you straight away abandon your strategy.
Does not, but exactly. I agree with that. But you've seen Becker do it before, haven't you?
A very stubborn young man.
It's part of the reason why he's so great. Very willful.
Clean winner from Becker finally, and it's 30-15.
That's the first point he's won on the Agassi serve.
That's almost a sign of confusion.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. No,
he didn't know what to do.
He didn't know whether to chip or play a drop shot, so he nearly hit him on the foot, that one.
Won his first Wimbledon when he was 17, and he won it twice again, runner-up a couple of times.
Look how cleanly Agassi is playing.
8 unforced errors for Becker, though. And a miss hit, and Agassi is quickly running through Boris Becker. 4-1. First set.
Boris will have to play a little differently, but he can't let Andre take over the match. If Andre takes over the match and forces Boris to stay back all the time, it will be very difficult for Boris to do well.
15-love Becker. Oh, good sky dive, sky hook, a la Jimmy Connors for a clean winner, and it's 30-love. Cannot argue with that strategical analysis of Nick Bollettieri, can you? Or can you?
Well, who better to go to if you're Boris Becker than Bollettieri, who's been on Agassi's side the last 6 times that Agassi's beaten Boris.
40-love, game points for Becker.
I wanted to know who we were in the early stages of that conversation. No, we're not going to go to that. We're at
a lot of Tony Picard talks in the we tense as well when he speaks of Edberg and his opponent. Got to do this. We got to do that. We did a little of this.
Well, he had a rip at that one, and you can afford to have a rip at it when you're down 40-love. You just air it out certainly when you got a break.
Have a lot of respect for each other's games, these two. Boris Becker's talked very kindly about Agassi and the way that he's played against him in the past. 4-2, Agassi with a break. He's serving here into the sun. Man who plays with a tremendous amount of passion, Becker. Has a way of drawing you into the match too. You kind of live or die with him in the way that he plays. Agassi has those same kinds of qualities, more especially because of the style of play. Such a little margin for error.
Seventh game of the opening set. Very important one. Cliff mentioned the fact Agassi serving into the sun. Tough to get that ball toss in the right spot.
Certain players just get you going, don't they? And in Agassi's case, it seems that when he sees Becker on the other side, he is very, very single-minded. (30-15).
There's Agassi's service profile. First serve percentage is 63%. Pretty darn good. Look at that, though, when he gets that first serve in. Well, he won his first 2 service games to love, so those percentages have got to be way up there at the start of the set. 90% and 83% on second serves. Really came out of the blocks very quickly, Agassi.
There is a break point for Becker coming up.
It's a pretty long rally. You see Becker taking plenty of time, every bit of the 25 seconds between points after that long rally. Oh, boy, nice short one, draws it back to Davis.
Well, it was the serve that set that one up. It was a good kick serve. Becker couldn't control the return, never got it past the service line.
It'll take a bit of a risk when you hit it from where he is, Fred. Look.
From out there, and then Agassi just lets that one rip, but it was the serve that set it up. Look at Agassi preparing there, 3/4 court, and he knows he's got an open court and just snaps the wrist over and through it for the winner.
In fact, it could possibly be the mechanics of the forehand, the Agassi forehand, that has given him the wrist problems.
Agassi wins the point. In fact, that's what his doctor said. In fact, he calls it his signature shot, and he said it is the high one that causes him the most pain.
Look at the kick serve again here. Look at Becker has to do. Look, it comes straight at him. That's the second serve. It kicked right into the body, and Becker was not expecting that.
He just hasn't gotten a real good foothold on the Agassi serve at all yet so far. He's been fooled a bit.
Agassi holds on after being down a break point, so Agassi is still very much in front in this set. One break to serve, 5-2. Live coverage.
One that everybody's excited about. Beat Jim Courier in the desert last week. Well, he's won the first set against Mark Rosset. Australia go to Russia. They play against Russia in St. Petersburg. Same time that the United States take on India in New Delhi.
Better days for Australian tennis up here, Fred, looks like.
Yes, things are improving. New captain coach, the Newcomb-Roach combination, old doubles combination, back as captain coach of Australia's Davis Cup team.
2-5 first set. Becker serving, love 15.
That's vintage Agassi, that stuff. It's nice to see it again.
He's just making Becker look plodding. You know, Becker's trying to come in, trying to get a good first volley, and Agassi's just killing him, making him look slow.
Meanwhile, Patrick Raft, as we were saying, out there against Rosset of Switzerland, won the first set easily. They're playing out in court number 4. He leads 4-2. Skyline of Miami in the background on a pretty day. People enjoying the water as well as the tennis today. 2 points from the set potentially for Agassi. Love 30.
Incredible. It's a mindset that Agassi has against Becker. I think he just feels that if Becker misses the first serve, or even if he goes, he seems to be able to pick Becker's serve and lets it rip. That was a very tentative backhand from Boris Becker on that occasion.
Only an 80-mile-an-hour second serve, too, Fred. I'll check his first serve and see what kind of speed he generates. Set point. 110 mile an hour, so he put some vim on that one.
Agassi loves pace. I mean, he loves returning against pace. Came back faster than it was served.
Still set point, 15-40.
Agassi loves Becker's pace. He loves a target, so he doesn't mind when Becker comes to the net. And, of course, if Becker chooses to stay on the baseline, Agassi feels that's his forte. So you can understand why Agassi has owned this man for the last couple of years. He gets to react. That's a too good a serve. Still one more for you. He gets to react to everything Becker's got, and Agassi is a terrific reactive player. That's his great strength. Not a lot of thinking. Just instinct. To go after the ball.
Set point again.
It's a place to be today.
Big return of serve, clean winner, and Agassi breaks Becker for the second time. Didn't lose his own serve. Agassi 6-2 first set. He has made it look easy so far.
An unbelievable first serve here into the backhand corner. 116 mile an hour, this one. But look, Becker hasn't finished his swing. And look at this return. Agassi, as Mary said, just enjoys that one. Look at Becker. Look, he's taken one step and the ball is back behind him. First set took 29 minutes. Well, we talked at the top of the show about whether you hope that these matches live up to their reputation. So far, Agassi has played brilliantly. Becker hasn't done much. Hasn't been allowed to, though, really.
No.
Oh, pulled long, didn't look like it as we were watching, but we're about to the lines people, and it's 30 love.
Agassi let that one bounce down and set himself beautifully. He hit the winner cross court. Becker was looking at the other way anyway. Close call, but 30 love.
To see Andre Agassi back this way, and there's a part of me that believes, and I might be wrong, there's a part of me that believes that Andre is taking out Bollettieri's defection on Becker as well. I mean, he always enjoyed this matchup anyway, but there's a part of me that really believes that Andre was very hurt. He prides himself on his loyalty to his friends, and Nick still would hope to think that he is a very good friend of Andre's. I think he wanted to come out here and prove a very large point today, and he is doing it from everywhere.
One game to love Agassi, and 6-2 Agassi in the first set. He's taken on Boris Becker. There are all kinds of folks here on walkie-talkies keeping this thing running smoothly. It's been a smooth day for game to Agassi. Sorry, Fred, in the second set. He won the first 6-2.
I actually applauded this shot, this last one, because Agassi, with pinpoint accuracy, struggles to get this brilliant return. But watch how he sets himself for this. Watch how he keeps the head still. Gets back there, keeps his eye on the ball. Look at that. Preparation, gets back, and then he comes through and meets the ball out in front. The head stays still. The racket goes through. Cross-court, a little bit of topspin for an outright winner. There's the German contingent there. They haven't got too much to stand up and throw a flag around about.
And Michael Stich chose not to come down here. Neither Becker nor Stich played last week at Indian Wells.
This match, by the way, is going back to Germany with our German TV friends next door to us.
Love won second set.
He just looks rushed an awful lot, Boris Becker, today.
And Agassi can do that to you.
Yes, he can. He can rush you right out of your own game and not let you establish yourself at the net or on the baseline.
I was surprised to find out that Becker's first serve percentages were at 70%. Dr. Levin has just informed us that because that one was about 25 feet long, and the one before hit the middle of the net in this game.
Off the boil.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's been on the boil.
No, he hasn't been on the boil.
Into a baseline rally with Agassi, and you're in trouble. What's this? The area between the lines, first set, Fred.
Yeah, this is Agassi there. Unforced errors 5 to Becker's 12. But Agassi only lost 4 points on his serve. That's something that you'd think about Boris Becker. Becker was broken twice in the set.
Right, and in fact, he had one break point against Agassi, Becker. But those 3 points in that game were Agassi unforced errors. So Becker has not earned anything against the Agassi serve. And Agassi's chewing him up on his own.
What a shot from him. Top spin lob. It's like he seized the moment.
Well, he drills the two-hander straight at Becker. Watch the scenario here. There's the low volley. Good return. Not much on the volley. Straight at him there. A good reflex, but no pace on that volley. He's looking for the one down the line. He flips the lob up over Becker's head, and now another 3 break points. Look again the precision of this shot.
It's all about thinking on your feet, though. You know, he was on the move. That's Becker's first ace of the match. On the move on that shot, and you know he had time, nevertheless, to get the idea in his head that Becker was at the net and vulnerable to the lob, which indeed he was, because the lob was not hit that deeply, and Becker wasn't anywhere near it. So still break point back for Agassi.
Instinct, they call that. He's just been playing so well. He has not allowed Becker a shot. 2 of 7 break points, and Becker's only had 1 shot at it on Agassi's serve.
On his heels, and Agassi plays that one cross-court clean. Winner, 2 games to love Agassi. Well.
Who'd have thunk it, as you say, Clipper?
Well, who'd have thunk it indeed? Who'd have thunk it after what we watched last week at Indian Wells, yeah. Fred and Agassi?
Yeah, Agassi was all at sea last week, and I felt that he won that tournament in Scottsdale, but he really never came up. He beat Luis Matar in the final there. Luis Matar's a good player. Don't underestimate him. But this is the toughest competitor Agassi's played since he's come back.
Becker is offering his racket to a ball kid. Oh, talking about taking your hat off to someone. He did take his hat off in disgust, and now he's given the racket to her. Here, you try beating him. I can't.
She says, you think I can do it? She says, sure. Agassi's ready to serve to her. Here it goes. And she got it back.
Oh, God, this game has needed a charisma transplant for an awful long time. And this guy, even in a losing effort, has got it. And so does his opponent. And a little bit of credit to this girl, too, for playing along.
Great stuff, and we've seen this from Becker before. If you remember the German championships last year, he was playing against Michael Stick. Same kind of thing happened. He gave his racket to a lines person. He sat on the line call and made lines calls. This is great stuff.
Here's the handoff.
There, he's flicked his hat. He threw his hat away a couple of points away, and he just says, hey, can you do this?
He is being outclassed today, and what a nice way to break up a real downer of a day for Boris Becker.
Problem for Agassi. He's just going to make sure that it doesn't break up his concentration. Double fault.
Well, that's his first of the day, Cliff, so we'll see if it really throws him off the boil.
15 all.
I don't think so. I don't think Becker really thinks he can regroup. We'll see.
Long, 15-30. 2 for Becker since the incident. As I said, Mary, the last time I saw him do it was in a match when he was way out of it as well. He didn't come back in that one against Stieg. Hamburg. Break points for Becker, 3 in a row.
Well, I surely don't think it was gamesmanship on point. I don't think he did that in an effort to get back in this match either.
I think what it did, though, he actually smiled when the ball kid won the point, and it's sort of, he's been so tense out there. Yep. He flung the hat a couple of points before, flung the racket away. This has just loosened him up. And this is the best game he's played so far, and he still hasn't won it.
He liked that topspin backhand two-hander that she hit. Okay. Break points.
That's a terrific serve to get him back into deuce.
And then not a bad forehand as well, Mary. You know, he likes that shot, but it's a low percentage play, that wild swing, topspin swing off the forehand.
He missed a couple in his opening round match against Mark Petchey. But the concentration level of Agassi today, he is just on the job today.
Deuce. Break point. This is the third for Becker in this game. He's had one before. His fourth for the match. He hasn't broken yet.
I think so much you expect of athletes, whether you're tennis players, footballers, baseballers, basketballers, and you can't just go out there and play great every time you go on the court. And have a look at the break chances there. But there are certain players or certain teams that you get up for. And both these players are up for this one.
Drop volley, maybe a little mishit in that, but he wins the point in the game. And we're back on serve in the second set. Agassi leading 2-1. Agassi on, Fred.
Yeah, and he did it from the net position, Cliff. It was a fine return, actually a mishit return, but it keeps him in the point. Stays from the baseline. He's forced way behind. He gets this one pretty deep. Agassi's next shot is short. So there's the slice backhand. He comes in behind it, comes way underneath it, the starter step, and he plays a very low volley there. And then I wouldn't say a miss hit, but he played it very short, and Agassi was not able to get up to it because he attempted the pass from the baseline. He had to do a lot of movement to get there, and that's the young lady that turned it around. Let Boris Becker sort of give her the racket for a point early in that game.
She could be the key to the entire Becker comeback.
He's back and tries for the big forehand, steers it wide. Love 15, 2-1 Agassi. Second set, he won the first. Double fault, love 30 again, having difficulty finding a place to throw the ball up to make good contact with it. Yep. Stephanie Flaherty's her name.
Yep, her Becker's new coach. You can't be happy with that. Becker's first double fault of the day. She's got to start warming up her serving arm.
Stephanie Flaherty will be a household name around the U.S. now. Oh, what an angle on that one. Again, it was the return that set it up. And we said how important the return of serve from Agassi was today, and he hasn't let us down because he meets this one out in front, gets it low, very low down. And watch this. He has time because there's nothing on that Becker backhand volley. Look how much time he has to choose which way to go.
Break points. Agassi has 17 to Becker's 8 in the winners column.
Late call from Paulo Pereira.
An overrule from him, and so that gives Andre Agassi the game. He leads 3-1. Interesting number of winners there because Becker, of course, relies on winners, doesn't he? The first point of that last game is what set the tone for it. Becker stays back. He tries for a winning forehand from the baseline, and he misses it. And Agassi takes control of the game and breaks.
17 winners. That's 4 games worth. That's 4 games without having to do very much. Becker's going to come off this match and say, hey, why is it that this guy plays his best tennis when I play against him? And Agassi does. He plays a level. That's again because of the player against player.
A tough year for both of these players in '93, wasn't it?
Becker, 23 tournaments. There's the record. He won 2 titles, but 6 losses in the first round. Agassi hasn't played for 5 months, so he didn't play anywhere near as many tournaments. He won 2 titles there, but 4 losses in the first round. Both players struggling. Becker out of the top 10. First time for a long while. Agassi, his ranking went down into the 20s.
But Andre Agassi agonized before finally having the wrist surgery. He went a couple of months hoping that cortisone and such would get rid of the injury. I mean, he really considered that it would be a career-threatening injury. So he promised that this year would be a special one for him. If this is going to be his form, he could be right.
Yep, there's a clean winner of the forehand from the baseline for Becker. The same shot that got him in trouble last game. Now he's got 3 break points. Mary, it was the same thing with Jimmy Connors. Remember, he also agonized over whether to have it. He had it done by the same guy. It worked for him, and it looks like it's going to work for Agassi. Break point. missed it. There's the break back for Becker. We're on serve. Agassi still has the lead. Becker's going to serve after the break. Agassi won the first set behind 2 breaks of serve.
You know, this is 4 service breaks in a row here. You know, it's going to be something different if someone holds serve here in this set.
Becker's lost serve the last 3 times he's tried.
Becker hasn't held serve but twice in the first set as well. Let's take a look at where he's been serving Agassi in an effort to try to make an impression on him. It hasn't worked, but there's what the numbers say for it.
Yeah, he's kicking that serve out to the 2-handed backhand. That's been causing him problems there. The one down the tee and the one at the body. So twice as many times to the backhand side on the ad court, on this court that Becker's serving. So there's that kicker again. The reason for that is exactly what's happened there. If that one was a let serve, but it draws Agassi out. He's hoping to get Agassi to take one hand off the racket and opening up the court for that cross-court volley.
It hasn't worked, has it? Now the one down the tee. Agassi doesn't like that call, but Becker has the point, 15-all. Let's take a look and see what he's been doing here in the deuce court by comparison.
Well, again, you see the wide and wide tactics. That's the serve and volley player. They like to go wide on each side to open up the court to try and make their opponent hit winners on the run.
The danger for Becker in using the wide and wide so much is that if his serve isn't wide enough, he just creates a terrific angle that Agassi can return with.
And that's what Agassi's been doing.
Too good, because Becker had no idea what Agassi was going to do on that forehand when he hit the cross-court, because Agassi has lobbed him a few times, and you can see him almost thinking, what's coming now?
But again, it's the return of serve that is staying down very low, and every time, and I like the tactics that he's played against Becker, because he's gone to the backhand volley most of the time. That time he's flicked the forehand and then the half volley, so he gets a good look, and Becker really has to commit one way or the other at the net.
30-all.
119-mile-an-hour right down the tee for only the second ace of the day for Becker, which says as much about his problem serving as it says about the great return game of Agassi today.
Oh. 40-30 game point Becker.
Becker's second serve's been pretty short, though, all day. That one a let. Again short.
He waited for Agassi to make a move. Agassi tried to cover the backhand, and it was Becker who just wung it down the forehand side. No trouble. He holds on. 3 games all.
One of those occasions where the net cord helps the player, and look at there, you watch Becker's there. Agassi has moved into that backhand corner. Becker waits and holds that forehandle the very last second before he goes down the line. Now this is what everybody's waiting for. On serve, battling it out.
Like a free point for Agassi. There's second serve. He put the topspin serve on it, and it got up a little higher than Becker expected, but nevertheless, he should have at least got it back in play.
Way out wide, though. Pulled him wide. 84-mile-an-hour serve.
Inland. That is stunning stuff, that. He makes it look easy, but I tell you, it's low percentage play because he hits the ball so hard, so close to the net and the lines.
Yeah, Michael Chang's about the only player that may have run that one down because Agassi just ripped it. He drew Becker off court, forced him forward to play a short forehand, and that opened the court for Agassi's big forehand.
30 love.
Didn't come in on enough. He was lucky to get away with that one, Becker.
They're both looking in good shape, aren't they? They both look like they've trimmed down a little bit, at least from the last time that I saw them play. Agassi certainly trimmer, and Becker also. His pants are hanging wide on him as well. Bollettieri says he's in great shape. Agassi holds on, so he's got the lead 4-3. We're on serve. Becker will serve after they take a break. We are going to go on serve, although as you two have pointedly said a few times, what does it matter? Because there have been so many breaks of serve, especially in the second set. Agassi was not broken in the first set. Becker was broken twice, 6-2. Agassi has been broken twice in the second set, and so has Becker. On serve 4-3, Agassi leading.
Call a fault, an overrule again from Paulo Pereira. Becker with his hands on his hips, not happy.
Well, Pereira will only call him if he's very sure that the linesperson made a mistake.
That's what they're all supposed to do.
I know that. Watch it again.
Big first serve right down the tee. Yes, looked a little long on that one. That draws a double fault from Becker.
You hate to see that happen, though. That's his second double fault. It is a crucial time for Becker, because if he doesn't hold on here, Agassi will serve the match, serving into the sun.
Well, he let it go and it fell in. An error of judgment from Becker. All the double faults today have been served from that end. As the kick serve, Becker comes in, has a look at it, goes to hit it, pulls away from it, and then just shows he's disgusted at letting that one go.
Of 30. Look out. There was called a fault, another correction, that time in Becker's favor, so Becker will get two. He throws his racket. Let's see if we can hear any of this. Now, you cannot hear that exchange, but the ATP Tour is talking about turning those microphones back on so that you at home can hear the exchange between the players and the umpires. And frankly, I'd like to see it. Paulo Pereira.
You'd like to hear it.
And
the only thing they have to do is make sure that when those four-letter words start flying, that they impose those fines. 19% on second serve, points won. This is a critical time for Becker right now.
Yeah, it's the players who wanted those microphones removed because they wanted to be able to argue with an umpire without getting fined for profanity.
And I think some of them are beginning to realize that it takes a little bit away from our viewers who are watching at home. That's all you got to do is watch your language. Shouldn't be too tough. Becker, 15-30, big point.
They fine them enough when they use it, they'll watch their language.
30 all. Couple of big points there for Becker.
We have seen Becker use anger as fuel in the same way that John McEnroe was able to do that. Sometimes that's what he does. That's his effort, you know, to get himself back, get himself focused.
Down love 30, Becker comes back and wins 4 in a row. 4 games all. Second set. Good time of the year. March, when the weather is still probably kind of cold in Germany, to head down south to Miami like so many of them do to Melbourne for the Australian, and you can see that some of them are here. Take a look at Agassi's serve direction into the Becker ad court. Watch this.
Look at that, none to the body, 82% out wide. And again, that's to open up the court for the Agassi forehand. He kicks that one out wide and then snaps the big forehand. And that's the only ace so far for Agassi.
30 love. The reason that it was an ace, but it was down the forehand side, and he's hardly served any down there.
I think it's a good idea to go into the Becker body. That one surprised him a little bit.
It seemed like he was trying to run around the backhand side to hit the forehand. It just wasn't quick enough. Game point, Agassi. Another one down the forehand side, and if not an ace, certainly good enough for a clean winner. And Agassi has the lead 5-4 in the second set. Here it's Andre Agassi and Boris Becker, 6-2, 5-4 Agassi. Becker serving.
Again, the first point of the game, Becker going for broke very early. It was just off the return. He went for the winner immediately. Not showing a lot of patience.
Look out for Becker, 2 points from the match.
Agassi, another smart point there, because he had Becker on the run, and Becker had to go for the winning shot. Agassi had too good a net position.
Agassi has 5-4, love 30 in one set. Great volley from Becker to keep himself in this match. He was down love 30 in his last serve game, and came back and won 4 in a row. 106 mile an hour first serve, and Agassi just treats it like it's just another day at the office. Watch this.
Becker there already, and it was another good backhand. No, firm volley on that occasion, out in front. Agassi not able to track it down.
But Becker comes through with a big serve. Fred, I thought when you saw that you were going to say, you know, he really wasn't in great position. 105 mile an hour serve, but he hadn't turned his shoulders much. It was more a reaction volley, that, wasn't it? 30 all.
Ace number 3 for Becker to keep himself in it.
Mary Carrillo's left us for the moment to go down courtside in case this match is over soon. Talk to the winner. And then the crowd didn't realize it was a let. 14,000 seats can be, or people can be accommodated in these seats. Not that many empty seats. Game point Becker, and as you said earlier, Fred, what empty seats there are not the seats that the public can buy on a daily basis. They are the seats that box seat holders have bought and just haven't shown up on this work day, Monday afternoon here in Miami.
There's not a great many of them empty, but boy, it's terrific to see a packed house here at this new stadium.
Game point. 4 points in a row. Carbon copy of the last time Becker served to come back. And it's 5 games off.
Cliff, do you think at this stage it may be going through Agassi's mind? He hasn't played a lot of tennis. He's in a situation, this is really won the final against Luis Matar. This is I don't want to say a grudge match, but it's a match that both these fellas are up for. Agassi's been in a position to win it at 5-4, had love 15, love 30. Pretty tough to close those out when you haven't played a lot of tennis.
Very tough one to call, Fred. You just wonder what goes through Agassi's mind. I wonder whether he's thinking back to that point where Becker gave his racket to that young linesperson, or linesperson rather, ball girl, and she played the point for him, and he lost his serve on that.
Yeah, but he broke back straight away. I don't think that had anything to do with the way this has turned out now. He broke back. There were 4 service breaks in a row at that occasion, that stage of the match.
15 all now.
That's just good percentage serving from Agassi. He went out there, we showed you the graphic, 77% of the time. He goes out wide again, and it sets up this half-court, three-quarter court forehand. And here comes the bolo volley, the second one we've seen in this match today, and he hits it for a winner also. On the line, and it's an ace for Agassi, his second of the match. He has game point.
Now, you know, we were looking at the direction on the serves there, Fred, 108 mile an hour serve, but we look at the direction of the serves. He served so many into the backhand side. He started to throw a few into the forehand. In the last 2 games. Steers that one. Wildly long. Agassi is still ahead, 6-5. Becker to serve after this break. They're not here. They are here. Just as we've said before, a few folks who are box seat holders. 6-5. Agassi, second set. Becker to serve. There is an area reserved for the players. They can actually eat and then overlook the area. They can also come outside, and that's it. And you cannot, there's the inside area as well, you cannot get a seat in there. That's testimony to the interest that these players have in these 2 giants of the game, Becker and Agassi. 15 love.
Obviously a very smart shot played from Agassi halfway through that rally, because the ball hit the top of the tape, and today that's a very tight net, and the ball jumps up high. Here, look at this. This forehand hits the top of the tape. Now, he could either try and hit this for a winner, or he elects to go deep with it, and then this sets up the next shot for the forehand, and he gets Becker out of position, lets the ball bounce on this overhead, smacks it for a winner. Well played point, well thought out point.
30-15. Big times for Becker in his life. A marriage December 17th to Barbara Feltus. Birth of a son, Noah is his name. Moved into a new place in Munich, Germany. Lives part-time in Monte Carlo. Struggling with tennis decisions as well. 30-15. Lawsuits with his former friend and manager, Ion Tiriac. Enough to get anybody's attention. Big return from Agassi, 30-all.
Another one over that short second serve. Agassi all over it. Hits the topspin return down low to the backhand volley. The grip that Becker uses on that backhand volley really doesn't get the racket out in front very far. Can't flatten it out and get pace on that volley. That one flew long.
It's also not close enough to the net when he makes that first volley, in my opinion. He doesn't get in as quickly as Edberg, for example. And he doesn't have the power of serve of a Sampras. Second serve, 30-all. Oh, he got it.
Called good.
Game point Becker.
Agassi had a quick glance at the baselines judge. This is a good shot from Becker, because Agassi was certainly looking for the cross-court one. Went back in behind him, Becker. There's the baseline judge, who had to make that very difficult, close call.
Same lines judge will call that one with a signal of his right arm out. Not even close, that one. Deuce. Tighten that seatbelt just a bit. This is an anxious moment. First serve, 114-mile-an-hour one into Agassi's backhand side. Game point Becker.
Every time Becker gets in front, Agassi comes up with a pretty good return, a deep return. Look at this one again. It was a good first serve, but Becker unable to recover quickly enough. Look how short that reply was. Agassi had a choice of where to put the two-handed backhand. Well, you don't get it much better than that. Credible point from both players, and Becker's forced to back off this one. Then he has to come in. He picks the right side, but again, that backhand volley with not much on it. And good wheels from Andre Agassi. He's moving as well as he ever did. Picked that one up with two hands, pushed it down the line for match point. And look at the reaction. The crowd want to see more. There's the German contingent, the Agassi fans there right up the top of this stadium.
You mean the Becker fans?
The Becker fans, I'm sorry. I'm getting excited.
Deuce. Steps right in, Agassi. It's so interesting to watch how he does not back up. In even the tightest situations, he held his ground, played almost a half volley passing shot, and Becker couldn't get it back. It's match point number 2.
Got a little bit of help from the net, but Becker didn't sort of play a defensive shot. He decided on the aggressive route. Sliced the backhand, came in behind it.
It's over. A beautifully played match by Andre Agassi of the USA. The two clasped hands in a very friendly fashion. They have always been very admiring of each other's game. Agassi, a winner. What does that make it? 7 in a row now for Andre Agassi.
He's back, Cliff, and he did it very well today. Players got a standing ovation because this was built up as the match of the tournament, and Agassi came out. Becker was a little flat, but Agassi took it to him early, and when Agassi came, or Becker came back in that second set, at one stage there were 4 service breaks, and Agassi held firm, and he caught him again off a big first serve return. The match point was a big first serve, and the forehand from Agassi told the tale. Set up the overhead for the winner. Well, everybody in tennis is happy that these two fellows are back on track, but particularly that return of Andre Agassi, who